The thing that I would say is that love is completely up to you. You don't give love to get love. It's not a transaction. It's not I give you, you give me. But love is 100% on you. And so when you can embody it, man, you're a magnet.
Hello, dear listeners. It's that time again when we stroll through the paths of ambition, desire, and success. Welcome to the Dare to Declare podcast, where we explore the enchanting world of giant manifestors who turn their visions and goals into the stuff of legends. I couldn't help but wonder, how do some people create the lives they've always dreamed of? Is it the magic of manifesting, the power of perseverance, or perhaps just a dash of serendipity? Well, dear friends, grab your coffee cups because we're about to spill the tea on fascinating journeys of those who dare to dream big and make it happen. Join me as we sip on success stories and ponder the ever-enticing question, can we all manifest our dreams into reality, or is it just an urban fairy tale? I'm your host, Debbie Sluice, and I'm here to guide you through the labyrinth of achievement with heart and soul. Ready to dare to declare? Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the amazing Dare to Declare podcast. Today, I have a very special lady that I'm so excited for you to meet. We are colleagues, we are friends, we are fellow learners, and her name is Kim Sorrell, and she is a best-selling author, captivating speaker, award-winning entrepreneur, director of a humanitarian organization, expert on love, podcast host, and TV talk show host. Her impactful presence extends from the pages of her books and engaging speeches to the airways of her podcast and television show. As a dedicated entrepreneur and humanitarian, Kim embodies her belief that everyone can live a life worth living and loving, inspiring positive change in diverse realms. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you so much, Debbie. I have so been looking forward to this. I love your podcast. It should be on everybody's list. And I love you from the minute that I met you. It's been over a year now that we've been connected, and I'm so happy that we are.
Yay. Well, here you are. This is great. And it's been over a year. And so I'm going to start off with a really random, it's more of a statement, and I just want you to respond or react to it. In your book, in your foreword, you said, God must be way bigger than my love of black licorice and movie theater popcorn.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we all have things that are big to us, right? That we love. That in the whole book, it's about love, about this year-long journey that I took to discover the true meaning of love. I was in Haiti most of the time, and so we all have things that we love, and sometimes it's easy to sort of take over, right? And not just let God be God. So when I put my loves aside of things that I shouldn't be loving as much as I love God, it allows me to realize how much He loves me. And I do love black licorice, and sometimes I go to the movies just for the popcorn, I gotta say.
That's awesome. I don't meet many people that like black licorice other than in my culture, I was adopted into a Dutch culture, and they like their salted licorice,
Yeah.
salted black licorice.
Yeah.
Can't do it?
No.
Can't do it?
Yeah.
Well, are you near Holland, Michigan? I know that you're in the Michigan area, so I'm sure that there is probably some black licorice there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Lots of the super salty. Yeah, I just don't do the super salty. I guess I like the just plain old sweet butter or something. I don't know. But yeah, but I'm half an hour or so from Holland, Michigan.
Yeah. So, talking about your book, I love the stories that you shared when I got to meet you last summer, twice, in fact, within a very short period of time. And your stories enthralled me, and also your humility as you tell them. So I'm really, like I said, I'm excited for you to share them here. But can you tell everyone what made you decide to write the book?
Well, a couple things came into play for me. One is that I was a little directionless for a little while. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was 47 years old, all of a sudden single. My husband passed away, and I needed to have this new single life and not sure what I was going to do. And I wanted to make sure I was doing it right, to really honor my husband because he was such a great guy. And so I wanted to make sure it was really honoring to him. And so I thought, well, God is love. So since God is love, if I figured out what love really is, then I should be living the way I should live. And so I started researching, and I couldn't find anyone who's gone into a real deep dive on love. I think if you put 12 people in a room, you're going to get 12 different answers to what is love. And so I decided to do it myself, and it was crazy. It was a eat, pray, love on steroids kind of experience.
You talked about being a widow very early, like early in life, really. 47 is so young. And I know you've experienced some other trials
Yeah.
personally yourself. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about that as well?
Yeah, sure. What's interesting to me, Debbie, is the trials that make you. I know people understand that, people know that, or should know that it's really the trials that form you. The happy times, the times in Disney World. I had a great time, but they didn't really form me. But and I think too, so often it's not what we do or what happens in life, but how we respond to it. And so, yeah, so 4 months before my husband was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so that was a wild time for both of us to be dealing with cancer at the same time, his being much worse than mine and passing away 6 weeks after that. And it's interesting though because it did change, amplifying maybe. I'm not sure what the word is, but it can't help but change you. And hopefully for the better. Hopefully you take those things and let them make you better.
I just realized that you would have been dealing with your own cancer and planning your husband's funeral.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It is I have yet to meet anybody who has both in the couple had cancer at the same time and one passed away. I've yet to meet anybody. And so there's no book on how to do it. Nothing is written like that. This is what you do, and this is what you do next, and no way that you're supposed to get through it. And there's books on toddlers and on adolescents and teenagers, but then it kind of stops. And like, is I've always thought, well, where's the book for the 20s? Where's your book for the 30s, for your 40s? Because it's all different, right? And so if I had some sort of guidebook, that would have been kind of nice, but there's not one. There just isn't one for so many things that we all experience in life. And I'm sure you, Debbie, have had the same thing. Listeners have had the same thing where there just isn't a roadmap for what it is that you're going through. So you got to kind of just wade through it and figure it out on your own.
Yeah. And that takes something. And I remember, again, this is going back into the archives of my memories and some of the stories you shared. But one of them, I believe, like you and your husband were in bed together, like just feeling unwell together, and how much you cherished that time that you spent with him.
Yeah, absolutely. We had an incredible 6 weeks together. He was so wonderful. First of all, when I got diagnosed, when I found out I had breast cancer, they called me on the phone on a Friday afternoon. Like, I wanted that lifetime moment where you're sitting across the desk from the doctor and you're holding on to each other tight, and the doctor says, "Well, I'm so sorry, but you have breast cancer." And instead, I got this phone call Friday in the afternoon. I couldn't even call back and ask questions. And it was just blah, 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 you have breast cancer. I'm like, what? And so I called my husband at work and he was there in a flash and did exactly the right thing. He just helped me. He just helped me. And that was exactly what I needed. And I think what he needed too at this time. And so then with his diagnosis, man, that just came out of left field. I mean, breast cancer already came out of left field. And sometimes I think you think that if you go through something with one person, then it's going to be easier with the other. I don't think that's true. It's like when my second child started having seizures, my daughter had seizures. And then when the second one did, oh my gosh, it was a slap across the face, worse than the first slap across the face. And so it just is, it's like finding out you have cancer times 100 and then pancreatic cancer on top of it. And so we just stayed home together. The doctor thought maybe he'd live a year or so. And we just stayed home. We watched Cash Cab and snuggled on the couch and watched, whatever on TV, watched movies and played gin rummy and just had this absolutely incredible 6 weeks together. We never had hospital equipment. We never had anything. And it's interesting, Debbie. One thing that we did is when Steve was diagnosed, we know what that diagnosis is like because 2 years prior, almost to the day, his father was diagnosed with the exact same cancer.
Mm.
And so we saw and he died 6 weeks later. And so we saw his journey and saw what pancreatic, we knew everything about pancreatic cancer because, of course, we looked it up and we wanted to get all the information we could. And so we knew that that is not something there's a cure for. And so when we left the doctor's office, we decided our prayer was going to be, Lord, either heal him like you do the blind and the lame and the deaf, that kind of a healing, or the ultimate healing that sometimes we forget, I think, which is heaven. And that's the prize, right? And my husband was that guy that got up every morning and was on his face before God at 5 o'clock in the morning. He was reading the Bible, praying for everybody, praying for his day, praying for everything, and reading a devotional book. He did it right. He chased God.
Mm.
From the time he knew him at 16 years old until the day he died, he chased God. He wanted more and more and more of God. And so I've never begrudged him because go you, Steve. I mean, I was 47, he was 51, but to go to heaven at 51 years old and never have pain again, never get the flu, never throw up, never pay another bill, like that's not so bad. That's kind of cool. And so it was sucky for me, but how great for him. I couldn't help but be happy for him, especially because the 6 weeks thinking about uh you kind of know when you're going to die, or you got a time frame-ish kind of. It's an interesting place to be. I think it's just an interesting world. So yes, our 6 weeks together were incredible.
Oh, you've given so much there. There can be experts that say, do this, do that. But what you just described and the mindset and the choices that you made and the faith and belief that you demonstrated, we can talk about it in the good times, but when it's like the rubber hits the road and you're facing death, staring it down, wow. And I'm just, I hope who's ever listening, I'm sure I know that whoever's listening needed to hear this today and to be inspired and motivated and strengthened by your faith.
Mhm. Well, I'll tell you, the Lord did answer our prayer too. I guess on the tail end of that is that we just prayed, the ultimate healing heaven, but we also prayed that he wouldn't be in pain.
Mm.
Whichever kind of healing, but please don't let him be in pain. And we had great hospice. They were wonderful. And his pain was taken care of. Like it was manageable. Everything was good until this Sunday morning when he woke up. And and I woke up because I heard him make a noise and I was on high alert and I looked over and oh my gosh, he was in so much pain. And so I quick called the hospice nurse. She came over right away, gave him some more morphine, and we were in my bedroom, and I was behind him holding on because he was sitting on the edge of the bed because it hurt to lay down, and I didn't want him to fall off the bed. So I'm hanging on to him, and the hospice nurse was in my sight, and she's on the phone calling for a hospital bed and commode or whatever she's calling for. And I said, "Gosh, do I call my kids?" And she said, "No, no, no, you got lots of time. You got lots of time." And then I could feel his agony. And I said, "Are you sure I don't need to call my kids?" And she said, "No, you've got weeks, maybe even a couple months. You've got lots of time." And because I think we were so connected and because our prayer was so joined together, I could feel his pain and didn't want him to suffer. And so I just whispered in his ear and I said, "Baby, just go."
Mm.
He never took another breath.
Oh, Kim.
So God answered our prayer. I mean, I look at that as such mercy, really, because it's supposed to be the most painful cancer. And for him to only have this little period of time and then for Jesus to say, "Welcome home, son.
Mm,
You don't have to go through this." That was incredible.
thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. So, you've spoken quite a bit about your faith and how it's been tested, but also how it was also your rock. You and I had a conversation last summer about the challenge. And so I'll just speak for myself. I have it where I don't call myself a Christian vision board coach. I'm a vision board coach who's a Christian. And you and I were both having this conversation as entrepreneurs. How do we navigate secular society and people buying your book? And so I haven't really talked to you about that since. And I'm just wondering, is there still any kind of challenges for you, or are you still reconciling that? Like, I've done some growth in that area, and I'm becoming more bold. And the name of my company is Dare to Declare. Actually, I found a verse that's about declaring, and it says, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." And that's really definitely been much more of my mindset. But I'm wondering, where are you at with that? And just wondering if you could share a little bit about your challenges and your thoughts on that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that this is what we're talking about, right? And that you are talking about we get to talk about this together because yes, we had that conversation last summer. And yes, I feel differently about it now. The subtitle of my book is a year-long experiment of living out First Corinthians 13, love is so long. And so there's a Bible verse right on the front of the book. And so when the publisher published it and came up with the name and the subtitle, I said, "Gosh, do we really want like it's gonna turn other people off?" And they said, "No, it's who you are. So just be who you are." And I'm like, "Well, okay." And then I found that people that aren't Christians are reading it. So that doesn't really matter. But at the same time, I have to be me. And so I feel the same way, Debbie. Like, people can know I'm a Christian. They don't have to agree with me at all. But in business, I speak some Christian. I'll pull out a verse, here and there that's applicable, that is powerful to me, and say, this is what this says. That's so amazing. But you don't have to believe or not believe. You can believe however you want. Because I believe we're supposed to just love everybody, regardless of where they live, where they were born, what the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, their religion, anything. Nothing should separate us as human beings. We're all God's children. We don't have to declare to be God's children because He made us and He told us that we are. And so, as much as He loves me, He loves the guy next door. And so, if we can just love everybody like we're commanded to do, it's the number one commandment. They said to Jesus, "Well, Lord, there's, basically, they said there's 675 or whatever the number is of laws in the Old Testament. How do we know what ones to keep or, when we're screwing up?" And He said, "All you have to do is love God and love each other. That's all you have to really do." And if you think about it, if you truly love, then you don't kill. Then there is no war. Then there's not hatred that makes you do things that are inappropriate. There's not lying or there's not envy. Those things don't exist when you really love.
Beautifully said. And one of the ways that you demonstrate your love is your love for I mean, it says in your biography, humanitarian organization. And that was one of the things I noticed. I had to pull it out of you. Like I felt like I was an investigator going, where have you been? What have you done? And you're so humble about it. And so can you share a little bit about, oh, I know what I want you to share too about the organization. But I remember you told this funny story. Like, I mean, you're a girly girl. You're like me. You like nice things, nice hotels, nice. and you told a story where you were like sleeping with the chickens, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, the organization does work in different countries. Haiti is one of them. And so I was in Haiti the majority of the time that I was working on this year-long discovery. And there was a time that I was working on Love Keeps No Record of Wrongs. And I thought, what can that possibly mean? Because you might forgive, but you don't forget the things that happened to you, right? And so I had this guy call me and ask if I would show him and a group of men a water project they might want to get involved in. So 8 American men met me in Haiti, and I brought two of my Haitian friends to translate, and they knew the water project inside and out. And we drove out to where we were going to stay. We were out in the countryside, and we got there, and it's just this little building with 2 rooms, and each room has 4 twin-size beds. Yeah. So there are 8 American men, 2 Haitian men, and me. So the head guy pulled me over. Jim, can I talk to you? Like, sure. And he said, "Did you see the rooms?" And I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna think I want my own room. So I'll say, "Well, it's okay, I'll sleep outside." And then he'll say, "Oh, no, no, if anyone should sleep inside, it should be you." And I'll say, "Well, there's plenty of room to put a couple cots in there. Like, there's plenty of room. I don't care if there's other people in my room." So I said to him, "Well, it's okay, I'll sleep outside." And he said, "Oh, good, good." We have men in our group that would not want a woman in your room. And Debbie, I gotta tell you, Haiti is hot. The only
Oh
thing
my
you want in
gosh.
your room for is to sleep. And I
Oh,
wear clothes to bed. Like, I wear pajamas. Like, I'm not gonna be naked. I mean, I don't even know what
oh
the
my goodness.
year there was. But anyway, I said I would. So I had to figure it out. And so I found a piece of plywood. I put it over a couple things that would hold it up and keep rain off of me if it rained. And I had an air mattress. So first night I go to bed and I blow up the air mattress. And I gotta tell you, I was scared to death because I am on the ground. I am on the ground, and there are snakes, and there are tarantulas, and there are chupacabras or whatever it is that's lurking in the bushes of Haiti, right? And I am just out there exposed to the world on the ground. And so I'm praying, Lord, please, 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 please. And so first night I go to bed, my air mattress held air for about an hour. And
Oh
oh,
no.
yeah, so I'm on gravel, basically, and then it was so loud because horns were honking and dogs were barking, and then finally, sometime after midnight, 1 a.m., that died down, and then a little while later, voodoo drums started in the distance. So then that went for a while. Then finally, I was able to get some sleep. So first night thing went, no problem. Second night, same thing. I'm on gravel after an hour. The dogs, the horns, the voodoo drums. Finally, I'm asleep. But I woke up because there was something on my leg. And I was so afraid. I can't even tell you how afraid I was. Like any scary movie I've ever seen times 195. I don't even know. I was so afraid. I'm thinking, does Haiti even have the anti-venom to whatever is about to bite me? Like, can I get airlifted to Miami in time before I lose a limb? I was just thinking, what is going to happen? So I slowly lifted my head and I slowly opened my eyes, and it was a chicken. It was a dang chicken on my leg. And I didn't know whether to be happy that it was a chicken, not something worse, or mad because this chicken woke me up from the little bit of sleep that I was getting. Well, the third night, same thing, but nothing happened. All was well. Fourth night, same thing again. I'm on the gravel, dogs, horns, voodoo drums. I'm finally asleep. But again, I woke up because there was something on my leg. And again, I was so terrified as to what I was going to see. And so I slowly lifted my head and I slowly opened my eyes. And again, it was that dang chicken. And again, I didn't know whether to be mad or happy. But Abby, I'll tell you, that night we had chicken for dinner. So the next night came and went with no problem. So I gotta say, at first I was mad at these guys, right? Like I was thinking, I hope my sons wouldn't do that to a woman. I felt like I was being treated subhuman, not even just a different gender, but it's okay for me to sleep outside. None of them are volunteering to sleep outside, right? And so I felt like, man, there's just something not right about that. And then it occurred to me, here I'm working on Love Keeps No Record of Wrongs. And first of all, I'm a volunteer to sing outside. So I kind of have no right to be bitter, but I still kind of was. But then when I realized what Love Keeps No Record of Wrongs is, what it truly means, I thought, oh my word. And all bitterness or anger went away because what it means is, yeah, stuff happens to you, but we get to pick the narrative. We're the ones that choose the narrative. So instead of all these rotten guys that made me sleep outside, I can literally sleep anywhere in the world and be perfectly comfortable. And that's what love does. You can be in the same traffic jam as somebody else, two people in the same traffic jam. And one guy's laying on the horn and shouting out the window, and his blood pressure's rising, and he's mad. And the guy in the car next door is listening to Dare to Declare podcast, and he's
Aw.
just chill. And who do you want to come home to you? I don't
Mhm.
want that screaming guy because he's still going to be mad when he gets home. So, same situation, completely different narratives, completely different reactions to it. And we have control over that. Like, we shouldn't let people have control over that. And so, love that keeps no record of wrongs changes, shifts the narrative so that you're not holding a grudge. You're, it's impossible if you decide you want to love that way and not keep a record of wrongs.
Ah, so good. So good. I know for me, a big struggle has been being right. And, in the Christianese is like righteous, like righteousness, and righteous justice. And it's not right. And look at how I'm even saying it with emphasis like that. And so, not keeping any record of wrongs, I think that just takes daily practice and catching yourself when you're noticing it. And then, as you said, not just emptying it out, but then filling it in with a new narrative.
Hmm.
So that it's like, I love what you said, is instead of hanging on to the rightness, like that was wrong, I'm right, they should have done this, but to say, now I can sleep anywhere in the world. I just love that. I mean, I could just talk to you for hours. And so I want to invite people to connect with you. You are up to some really big things, as in some really amazing events that you're offering. I know that there are different seasons that you offer it. Can you talk a little bit about what you're up to, and then how people can get a hold of your book? And then I'd love to know what do you feel is next? What do you think God's plan for you is for next?
Well, yeah, I'm doing some things, but everything that I do, I try to serve people. Like I love to serve. Like I if it's a gift, if it's a something inborn, I don't know what it is, but I love to serve. I just love to serve. And so now I'm serving people a different way on a pretty high level where I'm helping them to create something from within, from their experience, their knowledge, to be able to share that what they've got with other people. And that's so fun. I'm so enjoying that. I mean, there's a lot of money involved, but the beauty of the money is the more you have, the more you can give, the more you can do, right? But also, the more people pay, the more they listen. And if you really want to impact lives, it's okay to charge some money because then people will listen to it and their lives will truly transform. And so I'm loving doing that. My book is at brick and mortar stores. It's online. Love is the name of the book. It's kind of a dark blue cover. Can't hardly see it by haze in the background. And but it's available any bookseller online, wherever. And as far as what God has for me next, I am not sure. I don't know. I'm single. I've been single since my husband died, and it's been 15 years. And I would have thought that by now I would have found somebody. I haven't. But I've recently come to a place where it's like, I don't even want to date. Like, man, my life is great. I've got 11 grandkids. I got 5 kids. I got lots of friends. I've got you, Debbie. I've got Cindy out in California. Like there's so many great people in our lives. And I don't know where I'd fit somebody in, or I think I'd drive somebody crazy at this point in time. So I'm just very happy just being me and waiting. I guess I'm just waiting to see what God has next.
Yeah, waiting on the Lord. Beautiful. One of the things that I just realized we haven't really talked about is like this lady is also a very successful businesswoman. I mean, we've been talking about you as an author. We talked about your struggles with cancer and with your husband passing, and you did event planning. You ran multiple businesses, and so this lady knows what she's doing, and so you want to connect with her. And if you're looking to grow your business, you want to connect with Kim. And, when you pay attention. Free stuff we tend to just toss in the garbage. It's like a freebie, right? We just like, swag, but if you pay for it, you're going to pay attention and you're going to value it. And what Kim's giving is got a ton of value, and her life exemplifies miracles, manifestations, and she lives what she teaches. So you definitely want to connect with her. So the way they can get a hold of you is in the show notes. We make that really easy. So are there anything else that you want to share here, Kim, as we finish up?
The thing that I would say is that love is completely up to you. You don't give love to get love. It's not a transaction. It's not I give you, you give me, but love is 100% on you. And when you take ownership of love and embody it, let it be who you are. It says God is love. The Bible says in John, God is love. Not that God loves, but God is love. And so when you can embody it, man, you're a magnet. Like, people want to be around you. When you're authentically a loving person like you are, Debbie, people want to be around you. People are drawn to you. And so if you're having a hard time with friends, having a hard time with your husband, having a hard time, whatever, realize that love is up to you. It's completely up to you. So that is what I have.
That's a great place to end off. Thank you again so much for being here. I look forward to seeing what you're up to next with your podcast, your TV show, your book. It was just translated recently into Korean. I mean, there's just so many amazing things happening in your life. So thanks again for being here. Thanks everyone for listening. And please follow, and leave a review. And if you want to hear more amazing guests like Kim. Cheers. Today, we've delved into the realm of manifesting giants, exploring the power of declaring our desires to the universe with unapologetic boldness. But before we bid adieu, I have a little something special to share with all of you dreamers out there. Introducing the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and online DIY Vision Board course, your ticket to manifesting greatness in style. Picture this. Flipping through pages filled with inspiring images, empowering quotes, and step-by-step guides to help you create the vision board of your dreams. Whether you're yearning for that spacious condo with a view, or a love that sets your soul on fire, our magazine is here to guide you every step of the way. Dive deep into the art of manifesting with our exclusive online DIY vision board course. Led by manifesting expert, yes, yours truly, and seasoned dreamers. This course will teach you the ins and outs of creating a vision board that speaks to your heart and soul. So what are you waiting for? Join the ranks of the manifesting giants and dare to declare your wildest dreams to the universe. Head over to our website, debbiesluice.com, and grab your copy of the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and enroll in our online DIY Vision Board course today. Until next time, keep dreaming big and daring to declare, because in the world of manifesting, the sky's the limit.